Gervonta does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch.
That lawnmower, that's that.
I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
Lamont Roach seemed uneasy after seeing GervontaDavis' tough new training videos. Before their upcoming rematch, Roach admitted those clips pushed him to realize he needs to work harder and raise his level. He said Gervonta looked sharp against Hill, a real danger, and reminded him of that huge punch from their first fight.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, that's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't give me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody's not built the same, and that's what people get it messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
GervontaDavis is going all out in camp for the second showdown. He's fully locked in, training harder than ever to silence critics and prove he's still one of the best. Focused and motivated, Davis wants to correct past mistakes and show he's still a top-level fighter who belongs at the top of the sport.
Hold on to the base. Stop. That lawnmower, that's that. Stop that motherfucker.
I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel as though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
This time around, Gervonta isn't taking any chances. His team is clearly serious. Videos show him moving smoothly around the ring during sparring. His footwork looks sharp, his timing is solid, and his reactions are fast. He's not just practicing, he's pushing with purpose. Davis knows he has to be more alert and precise to beat Roach now. Davis isn't just moving well, he's hitting with power too. Another video shows him smashing the heavy bag with force. Every punch looks angry and focused. It's clear this isn't some basic training session, it's personal. After all, the talk and doubt from their last fight. Davis is preparing like someone who wants more than just a win, he wants to dominate. Famous boxing analyst Teddy Atlas had high praise for Davis's natural talent. He pointed out how Davis keeps calm under pressure and never rushes his punches. Instead, Davis watches and waits for the right moment. Atlas said Davis is dangerous because he can fight up close, from the outside, or in between and still score knockouts. When Davis is focused, Atlas believes he's one of the most complete fighters in boxing today.
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly closes those gaps. You know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Even though the first fight ended in a draw, Rolando Romero still believes in Davis's abilities. He said it was just a rough night and doesn't change how talented Tank is. Romero reminded people that one tough fight doesn't erase Davis's history. He still sees Tank's skill and knockout power as better than most. With the rematch coming, Romero expects Davis to bounce back and prove he's still one of the best.
People want to discredit Tank. He's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night? Or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night with Cruz. Everyone has a night in boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
What really separates Davis from other boxers is his serious punching power. While some fighters depend on speed or clean technique, Davis can end things with just one punch. People watching say he never forces it once he finds his rhythm. His power takes over. Roach did show skill last time, but he doesn't have Tank's level of strength. Many believe that when Davis finds his zone again, Roach won't be able to keep up, and the fight could end fast.
Because GervontaDavis is a puncher, so the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to get
my pushback.
And also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other. They fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process in the ring has a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and he kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20 to 1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the DC area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta.
Jaron Ennis, another well-known fighter, gave his view and said Davis looked strong early in their first fight. He thinks fans forget that Davis landed clean shots and set the tone early on. Ennis said the reaction to the fight was more about Davis's image than his actual performance. Now, this second fight is Davis's chance to quiet the doubters. For Davis, it's more than just a rematch, it's personal. That draw damaged his pride, and now he wants to set things right with full effort.
You know I gotta ask you about fights. GervontaDavis, draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight, you know. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw, but I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. You know, I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. You know, and I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. You know, he was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. You know, but Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job. You know.
Yeah, some people had it like. Some people had a Tank, some people had a draw, some people had a Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being in big names so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel like pulling though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw, you know. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning. Moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp to me. And I don't know, people just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Davis isn't just trying to win, he wants to crush Roach, prove a point, and get back the respect he feels he lost to him. This rematch is about redemption, proving himself again, and showing everyone that he's still a dominant force in the sport.
We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already known, but the fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. There was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at them like, we don't want to get it. I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims on all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
After their first match, Teofimo Lopez shared that it felt like some boxing fans gave up on Davis. That draw led to doubts, and some wondered if Davis was no longer the same fighter. Lopez said this rematch isn't just about beating Roach, it's about fighting off that story that Davis is slipping. This is Tank's chance to remind everyone who he is.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm gonna talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're gonna be there, but they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
The first fight with Roach turned out to be one of Davis's toughest challenges yet. Roach didn't just stay in it, he fought like a top contender and gave Davis problems. He hadn't faced before. Many fans saw Davis struggling with Roach's timing and distance. Now, the rematch will show whether Davis can adjust or if Roach really has the upper hand. This is a real test of both skill and heart.
Most notably, I'll just speak about a fight that we just had with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, it was given a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking a knee due to hair bands his face or his eyes, so on, and burned his eyes. And in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people saying it was rigged, all these different things, so on, whatever it may be. The fight is over.
Davis's trainer said they already knew how good Roach was going into the first match. Their plan was detailed, but it didn't work like they hoped, surprisingly. They might stick with the same strategy this time, instead of changing it completely. They'll focus on making that plan work better. That shows they still believe in what they came up with. They just need to execute it the right way this time.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about it again.
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
Henry Garcia had a different take. He said Davis may have been mentally off in their first fight. Without his longtime coach Calvin Ford in the corner, Davis might have lost focus and rhythm. Garcia also hinted that things outside boxing could have been distracting him for the rematch. Davis will need to be fully locked in mind and body if he wants to return to top form.
There's no way you could say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. His age is catching up to him. His legs aren't there as he used to be. And, he switched his trainer, that's could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's, there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know. But I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter and he's out to hurt you, But hey, Lamont Roach stood his ground, and he did a great job.
One moment from the first fight really got people talking when Davis dropped to a knee in round 9, and the referee didn't count it as a knockdown. That decision caused a lot of debate, with some saying it could have changed the final result. Now that drama adds even more fire to the rematch. Fans and experts want a clear winner this time, and this next fight could finally settle everything.
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm gonna let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage, but when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take in consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag, go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real, because this, be real, man.